Well, thank you so much. It's great to be back and see a lot of familiar faces from many years. So really, thank you so much for having me. So I want to start by describing a little bit of how was the beginning of this program, right, when everything started. At that time, the university had, and I believe still has, a number of aspirations, the aspirations for the new American university at that point. So I was really a benefactor of all those different blessings. They had one about global vision. So as Colin mentioned, coming from Mexico with a background in industrial engineering and then in quality, the school was really the perfect place for me to arrive. The school, again, immediately had a number of opportunities to go and speak about the program, to look at what might be the impact. But also, with such a larger program, you have a big runway to do many things. A PhD affords the opportunity for you to try different things, to try and fail many times, and in other times, you to try and succeed. So in my case, I was also just an enthusiast of go and apply for funding, go and pitch little business here and there, sometimes win, sometimes just learn the lesson. So all along, you get opportunities to go and really see the early days when the Dow Jones Sustainability Index was looking into that, when sustainability was becoming part of the conversation. We were part of those seminal conversations. And then along the way, there were larger ideas that, again, they grew in the eyes of some of the faculty professors that were there. So two of my advisors were there in the beginning of what now is that sustainability consortium, that clearinghouse behind Walmart, and certainly the impact that has into the globe. Of course, along those years, you are doing grad school, you are pursuing different things. Around 2008, the Super Bowl came in, so I immediately, threw my name there to go and volunteer. So again, it's all that extended experience of looking into that area. Now, these are really the persons behind all of this. My committee, Jay Golden, now he's sitting at Duke University, Kevin Dooley, cross-listed with W.P. Carey, Chris Boone, that it's here joining us today, and George Basile. So really, all of them, they had the opportunity, or gave me the opportunity to try and dig into an area that was maybe a borderline in the area of expertise, and they really allowed me to go and read and study, and then eventually go and form an opportunity for myself. So I think that that's very important to recognize that all these opportunities, they were granted by the school, by institution, and then by the different activities that have. So what I want to share with the group are three elements or three reflections of what happens when somebody goes through a transformational program like that. One of the first one is really harnessing your network. The network that you are living here or you are forming day in and day out is very important. One of my advisors always told me that the more you love your network, the more that network will love you back. And that's the reality of things. You can have credentials and you can have certificates and many, many things, but the reality is that relationships matter. They really matter. Outside in the business, in your own personal life, they are very important. So I was always very close to one of the professional associations, and at that point I was looking to start not only advising them, but play a more expanded role. So then with this association, I started sitting in their board of directors, and that was, again, a leadership opportunity that all the opportunities before prepared me to go and take that other one. Now, you always talk about transfer the skill sets that you get in grad school. And that's very important because of that opportunity to go pitch business, make a business plan. Those are the same things that you are doing right now professionally. You are convening different stakeholders. You are trying to look at their perspective. You are trying to understand their challenges and to provide solutions for them. So everything that you saw before, all these either competitions or entrepreneurship opportunities, all of them get you and set you to do a good transition, and certainly openness. When I was finishing, I was just dreaming about who or where a company could, first of all, use whatever I studied, whatever I researched, and then allow me to keep close to sports, right? Because you have that thing for sports. Well, so I was very, very fortunate to land in an organization that not only can use my research or my applied research, but it's close to sports. So then I landed in this organization that is MillerCoors, and MillerCoors is basically 4 brewing companies inside the same umbrella. The traditional Miller Brewing Company, the Coors Brewing Company from Milwaukee and Colorado, and on the craft business, the Leinenkugels brand in North Wisconsin, and then Blue Moon from Golden, Colorado. So these organizations had an opportunity to create a position along the qualifications, along also the aspirations that I could bring to the table. And that's very important for you to know. Many organizations have job descriptions or titles or roles, but the reality is that if you come with passion, if you come with some ideas, those organizations are the ones that have the muscle, that have really the flexibility to create the role right for you. So it's important to go and look in the job market or look what other persons are doing. But the reality is that the more passion you bring, they will open a space for you to accommodate that passion. So one of the things that I do as of now is to coordinate the sustainability report for the company. Think about it, that annual snapshot that becomes essentially the business card for your company. If any consumer, somebody anywhere in the country, or for that matter, somebody that visits your website, just had an opportunity to read a couple of minutes on your company, what you want them to read, what you want them to know about your organization. Now, in terms of the things that I used to do back in grad school, I just did modeling for carbon footprints. At that time, carbon footprint was very top of mind. So a lot of companies were integrating the carbon footprint, the water footprint in their own risk management calculations. So what I did is just provided another layer of visibility of the type of risk that they have, some in the short term, some in the long term, and then add the likelihood of that happening. And that's very important because many organizations, especially this size of organizations, if they want to keep in business 10, 20, 40 years from now, they need to start looking at those risks. They need to start mitigating and anticipating those risks. And right now we're living really in an era that more companies are willing and able to talk. Now, another big aspect for this role is to really have the privilege to speak and partner with the families that grows everything that goes into the beers. All the barley, all the hops, all those adjuncts are grown across the country. Places like Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Idaho. So I get to spend roughly a third of my time with all these families, get to meet them, spend seasons in the country, and then allow or form the partnerships with the federal government, with NGOs, to bring the resources to those communities. So where other companies are closing shop and moving away, we bring the infrastructure. We essentially build railroads and different infrastructure. And as always, there are different little passions that you pursue while you are doing your job. So I always had the aspiration to do something with the UN. So we did something in grad school, but then now in the company, then you go and pursue it further. So now we have an opportunity to implement changes that advise on in this case, the United Nations Global Compact and how companies look at water and other things. And then, of course, Super Bowl came back 2 years to Arizona, so I had to come back and then do like that double whammy, right, with the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. So again, what I'm trying to say is that there are many things to do inside grad school and then after grad school. But you will see that all the investment, if you are right now working long hours in the evenings or during your weekends, rest assured that every minute of that, it's for you. All those credentials, all those things that you are creating are for you. And really, you are the person that will eventually have the opportunity to make a change with those credentials. So with that, I just want to congratulate the group, everybody that is here that has been part of this story, and I'm really looking forward to be part of the next 10 years. Thank you.